5,000 miles of coastline surround Britain and Ireland, and not a week passes without a lifeboat going out to a ship in distress. Behind each of the 167 lifeboats stationed round our shores, there lies a story of design, knowledge, and craftsmanship. A story which begins in the vast forests of Burma, where teak, one of the hardest woods, is felled. Elephants are trained to haul the teak through the clearing to a light railway. It is carried by train to the sawmills on the coast, and thence to the docks for shipment overseas. It begins also in the dark forests of British Honduras. Mahogany giants crash to the ground. And in our own countryside, tough English oak is used for the stem and stern posts of lifeboats. The institution's timber converter tests one of the crooks with a wooden pattern to see if it is the right shape. The timber converter selects the best crooks, and when possible, these are left out of doors for 3 years to season. When the crooks are thoroughly seasoned, they are taken to the saw pits, where they are sawn by hand to the correct shape and thickness. Mahogany arrives in this country from abroad in logs, which must be sawn into planks. These go to the institution's timber store, entering at one end of the shed. After a lapse of time, they are removed at the other end, when required for the building of new boats. Thus, woods from many countries of the empire play their part in the construction of a lifeboat, and great is the craftsmanship with which they are fashioned, with simple tools such as plane and saw, chisel and adze, with accurate eye and steady hand. Both strength of material and strength of workmanship go into the building as the framework of the boat takes shape. Planks of mahogany are steamed to make them supple, so that they can be bent round the frame and nailed into place, thus forming the first skin over the framework of Canadian rock elm. Over the skin, unbleached calico is stretched. Then a second skin of mahogany is placed over this, which ensures the weather-resisting powers of the boat. Meanwhile, the engines are being built. Great care is taken to ensure their highest efficiency in the vital part they will play in the saving of human life. Every component undergoes exhaustive tests. When the engine is assembled, the magneto is completely enclosed from water, and the carburetor is similarly protected. The top part of the engine casing is made watertight and fitted with air intakes which project upwards about 18 inches, so as to be above the water level when the engine is submerged. The finished engines are installed in the boat, and the compact layout of engine room and controls can be seen. Even if the engine room should be flooded up to the water level outside, shown by this sheet of wood, the engine would still function normally. To protect them from damage, the propellers are each housed in a tunnel. This type has a special ring round it. Another vital part of the lifeboat are the air cases, which give her buoyancy if she is damaged. They're made of soft wood, strips of calico being glued over the joins. They're painted and tested in a special tank. Then again repainted and marked with the position in which they'll be fitted into the boat. These air cases make it possible to flood all the watertight compartments of a lifeboat and still leave her able to go on with her work. A big lifeboat may have as many as 165 of these air cases. And so the boat is launched in preparation for her trials. Not until she has undergone the severest tests is she handed over to the crew that awaits her. The automatic scuppers are yet another vital feature. They empty out the water as fast as the seas fill the boat. After the trial, she comes back to the builders for a final painting and overhaul. The last coat gives a finish which this perfect example of craftsmanship deserves, a smooth, velvety surface, which for all its gloss will soon have to meet the battle with storm and sea. Away along the coast, they await her arrival. Her crew is drawn from the voluntary labor of fisherfolk. Gracefully she glides nearer to the station which is to be her home. Today the sea is smooth. Tomorrow it may be a fury of breakers. She is beached. A wire winch rope is shackled to her bows, and the windlass pulls her up over the beach, down which she will often be launched. for she must be ready to go to the rescue of those in danger at a moment's notice. So that is how a lifeboat is built, and she looks beautiful and dramatic lying there in the sun. But she is only one of a fleet of 167 stationed round our coasts. Our country depends for its very existence on overseas trade. 11 lives have been rescued from shipwreck every week for over 100 years round the shores of Great Britain and Ireland. When we next appeal to you, remember what our lifeboats have done and what they are doing for us all today.